Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Khorasan and the Khorasanis, a place of the rising sun. So we've been giving a brief stream of consciousness, spontaneous spiritual history of Greater Khorasan, focused on Balkh as the hub, as the center point, the mother of all cities. And we've discussed the confluences of religions, especially contemplative traditions, and scholarship, of genetic seed lines, of languages, of waters and sands, of grasses and soils. So this is very important with these regions. I wanted to just revisit something. When it comes to the Imam Mahdi, alayhi salam, peace be upon him, his very name suggests right guidance. So if we are going to locate the Caliph to come and the black flags, we need to look for people that are aligning themselves with right guidance. Right guidance is not born of a materialistic, exclusivist, externalist mentality. It is not overly literalists by any means. It is not associated with the dog tribe. The dog tribe are wolves in sheep's clothing. They overemphasize materialism, exclusivity, supremacism, and externalism. They are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they attack one another nonstop. They're people of fitna. And you will see that within their writings and within their speeches, within their engagements with people. And when it comes to right guidance, you will see a surrender take place to truth, because truth is our Lord. We should orient, whatever you orient your life toward is your Lord. If you are oriented toward money, then money is your Lord. And you are a materialist. If it is purely for taking care of your family and working, and then you never cultivate yourself as a human, then you again are a materialist. These are we have to beware of idolatry as it really is, because idolatry is always unhealthy, overly devoted attachment to people, places, things, and ideas. Guaranteed, full stop. Like statuary images. This is a whole other thing, and we'll discuss this in other videos, inshallah, but that's not what we need to be tripping off of. What I'm here to say is that we need to be looking for right guidance. We need to be going into the deepest holistic tawba and tazkiya that we possibly can. We need to come out of a broken, humiliated state into an upright, purified status. So we're looking for right guidance. Spiritually broken, emotionally broken, intellectually and intuitively broken people are not upright. They are not righteous people. If your evidence is somebody kicking somebody out of a country, then, that's basic animal instinct. Period. That is not right guidance. That is not holiness. That is not the sacred struggle. It's not. What you need to be looking for are, like, when it comes to surrender to truth, which is what Islam really is. To be a Muslim is one who has surrendered their ego and their selfish expressions to Allah, and they are purified and transformed through tazkiya. And nowadays, especially with all the devil tech, we have to go through a holistic tazkiya process, purifying our bodies, purifying our minds, purifying our relationships and our environments. We have to have pure and ethical inputs in thought, word, and deed, and pure and ethical outputs in thought, word, and deed. This will bring us into right guidance and help us to recognize right guidance. To recognize right guidance, we also have to be people of ikra. We have to read. We have to read the outer signs accurately and the inner signs. If scholars have not been teaching you how to all right, so let me put it like this. A genuine scholar is not somebody who can parrot information, who has memorized text and then regurgitates it in a very literalistic, materialist, exclusivist, supremacist, and an externalist manner. That's not scholarship. It never has been and never will be. That is a pseudo false expression, a dajjalic expression of scholarship. Genuine scholarship seeks to see things as they really are. processes as much data as accurately as possible, not trying to make apologies or engaging in polemics, but processing the information to see clearly in order to take the complex and make it, to simplify it so that they can then share it with people and derive meaning and that has practical benefit for people's lives to help us to be transformed into mature humans, mature men and mature women. If you don't see this happening from your scholars, then you might have false scholars or misled scholars. It should be very practical. They should actually be teaching. You should not know, you should not only know how to read Mus'haf and text, but you should be able to read the outer world, all the signs around you and within you. You should be able to read and analyze the entirety of your world, because you are Kun-created clay and Kun-created water and ruh. And therefore you have immediate direct access to every single thing around and within you. The outer signs consists of sun, moon, stars, consists of the sky and the land, consists of the trees, the rocks, the plants, the minerals, the various animal kingdoms, you know, like the reptiles, the amphibians, the insects, etc., etc. The entire outer world. The inner realm would include your thoughts, your memories, your breath, your body sensations, your pulses. So it's going to include your cardiovascular system and the blood flows, which is actually observing the oxygen traveling through your body. So you're going to be able to read the outer and inner. If you are not learning that from your scholars, then you're really not getting what you're supposed to be getting, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're engaged in some intellectual exercise. We don't have time for that, people. We need right guidance now. We need to come out of a broken state into an upright state. We need to go into the deepest sajda and arise upright and rectified. This is the path of the Imam Mahdi, alayhi salam. Straight up and down, people. We don't have time for nonsense. So many lies. Matter of fact, if we are dealing with Dajjal, if you're waiting for Dajjal, don't be looking for a boogeyman with a thick neck and one wonky eye. That's silly. It's cartoonish. Try to understand what's really going on. Break it down. Dajjal, he is the pseudo Messiah, the false Messiah. A Messiah means anointed. It's also related to the logos, to intelligence. Pseudo means artificial. So we're dealing with the artificial versus, so think in terms of binaries. Artificial versus the real. Synthetic versus organic. Natural versus unnatural. Lie versus truth. False versus the real. Think in terms of binaries. Seek out, if you look for the delusion, look for the illusion, look for the misguidance, look for the lies, look for the falsehood, look for the pseudos. This will let you know what's real, because you're seeking what's real. So eliminate what's false. We need to read very accurately right now. This is absolutely essential. It's absolutely critical. This is a matter of life and death. This is survival and thriving versus extinction and annihilation. Right now, there is a move to create hell on earth. And so we need to be prepared. We need to go back into nature and live as organically, purely, and garden-like as possible, as purely, organically, garden-like, and ethical as possible. This is the human way. This is the path of Adam alayhi salam. This is the path of humanity. We need to move back into the garden and garden-like ways of living and thinking and behaving. It must be ethical. Many people have lied and put, basically they've equated rule following with ethics. This is complete misguidance and completely lies. Ethics can actually be derived, all ethics, and this is very Quranic. What you need to do is start going back to the Quran and looking for the themes and boil the Quran down to its basic principles. You know, everything goes down to non-harming. We must eliminate harm, and where we cannot eliminate harm, we minimize harm in thought, word, and action toward self and toward others. This was rooted in the ethics of bismillah, Rahman, Rahim. It's rooted in the divine, in the beautiful names. You know, like we've got word clusters. So we've got mercy, compassion, forgiveness, loving kindness. These are all soft. They're all associated with the right hand. And also we've got judgment, discernment, justice, wrath associated with the left hand. But we always read everything through the lens of mercy and compassion, because my mercy overcomes my wrath. So basically, we've got profound lessons within this. Justice is always merciful, compassionate, forgiving. The words forgiveness and pardon within English are related to letting go. So one of the spiritual principles is we learn how to see things clearly and let go that which is unhealthy and non-beneficial, toxic and harming. We let it go and we do what is better. We absorb what's better and let go of what's worse. This is our path. Take the good, leave the bad. Take the benefit, leave the harm. And we almost always must be of benefit. When we come into our spiritual mature state, then we are necessarily caliphs of the earth. Meek, humble, just, righteous, not owners of the earth, and but those who are caretakers of all of the ecosystems of all of creation, showing respect and presence and appreciation for all of creation, human and non-human, big and small alike, male and female alike, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, visible and non-visible alike. This is, being a caliph of the earth means that we are guardians, we are guides, we are protectors. We are not among the kuffar. The kuffar are those who lack appreciation, who lack insight. May we be people of insight and appreciation, presence and mindfulness, of wisdom and compassion, of mercy and justice. Ameen. So, I just wanted to lay that out there because this is the path of the Imam Mahdi. I promise you, I guarantee you 100%. Dog tribe are those who are in they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They're liars and they disseminate falsehood. They have mass financial backings. They have been attacking the Ummah since the very beginning. We need to come out of all falsehood right now, very quickly, very rapidly. We need to move back into nature. So what I'm saying is that we need to make hijrah of the heart. And hijrah of the heart is the beginning. And then there will be some kind of a physical relocation at some point, typically. Not always. But we move away from all toxic, harming inputs and outputs and toward that which is better, which is always organic, pure, garden-like, and ethical. Guaranteed, 100%. Word. That's real. Now, when it comes to, I've said all this to get back to Khorasan because my take on it is I see zero evidence of any righteous spiritual revival taking place in Khorasan for several hundred years. Basically, most of the powerhouse Khorasanis had dispersed into the Muslim heartlands of Iran and the Middle East and into South Asia with the Mongols and a bit after. Much of the Khorasani seed line was transferred, in those exchanges. And then there was a lot of Khorasani seed line that has been preserved in the area through violation by invaders, and then spread to other areas of Asia. Many Khorasani merchants and ideas and scholars, warriors, etc., have flowed in and out of the Khorasani region. So it's questionable to what extent people are the original seed lines or even the Khorasanis that are spoken of in the classical Islamic texts. I do believe that many people have Khorasani inputs, but I also believe that there are other inputs within this region to this day. Like I said, any place that we're looking at, we have to look for spiritual revival and signs of right guidance. I see zero signs of that at this point. I see a lot of criminality. I see a lot of tremendous suffering. Large numbers of people are addicted to heroin. Large numbers of people have suffered tremendously from ongoing conflicts in the area for over 40 years, and that's spilled over at different points. Clearly, we've got Chinese Turkestan and Tajikistan, a tremendous amount of suffering, a lot of suffering in the Pakistani borderlands. Iran was wrapped up in war for quite a long time. These areas have been ecologically devastated by genetic modification, by pesticides, herbicides, fungicides in the water, by monoculture, through various war implements decaying into the soil and evaporating into the air and from the water, and then dispersed through smoke and various things. Not to mention psychological traumas that have been impacted. Like anything that you do, if it has a high emotional resonance to it, It quite literally has a hormonal, energetic, chemical imprint within your bodily context. And therefore, it is tied in. It has an emotional imprint. It has an intellectual imprint. It's basically going to be a lens. It's like it's a biological, hormonal, chemical imprint, energetic imprint that then will be a filter through which we read the world, like the way that we think, and then the various inputs we have related to cultivating our intellects. I mean, if you look at videos of the madrasas within these regions, it's really appalling. They're abusive situations, like tons of them. This is well documented. You could be like, oh, you've taken in propagandas and whatnot. And okay, so show me high level, spiritually evolved humans right now. I see many broken people from there. And I see many people around the Muslim world who are very hopeful, and they're holding a lot of hopes upon this region and these peoples because of the Black Flags prophecy. Many people have made serious life mistakes, making physical hijrah prematurely into the wrong places and for the wrong reasons, and have been deceived by many alphabet boys and agents and brotherhoods that are purposely trying to destroy the ummah, because the goal is to eliminate almost all of humanity and have a very small slave class remaining that will be genetically modified and transhumanized. Everybody else is supposed to wipe each other out, the Christians and the Muslims. I'll discuss this in some of the Muhammad videos, inshallah. But it's very important that we consider that this region, I'm not expecting we need to see a spiritual revival. This begins with tawba, a holistic, individual and collective tawba and tazkiya process, and genuine tawakkul, which is egoless flow states that are often first experienced and flowing out of sajdic synthesis in the darkness, in silence and stillness. So we need to very, very closely consider what all of this means. So we're looking for right guidance. We're looking for actual, factual right guidance. We're not looking for cartoons. We're not looking for some imagination to hold on to. That's not healthy. It's not real. We seek to see what is real and to behave accordingly. So we must align ourselves toward the goal of being rightly guided, so that we can see right guidance as it really is. And if you want to join the Imam Mahdi, then you need to be going through the tawba and tazkiya process right now. And this means the bodily expression, the emotional expression. You need to be working through your issues while you got time. Nutrifying, cleanse your various bodily systems, cleanse your gut, cleanse your liver, cleanse your blood, then go through a nutrification process. Exercise, stretch, do deep breathing, do late night prayer, seek to do your 5 times a day prayers and really, really go deep in sajda. Spend a lot of time in sajda. Do long silent sits out in nature. Sit inside the darkness of caves for several days at a time. See what happens. You could set up partnerships with your friends in order to do long sits and praise there. Long salah retreats. There are all kinds of things. We need visionaries to awaken now. We need upright humans right now. We need to get the signals clear. So we need to clear the clutter, because everything is already within us. All of the prophets, peace be upon them, and all of their genuine inheritors have told us this. So anyway, brothers and sisters, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short, but you are well loved and well appreciated. So until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.